JBN, we keep you informed. Toddler recovers from 2 days in house with decomposing bodies. A toddler who was stuck in a house with the decomposing bodies of the toddler's mother and another female for almost 2 days has reportedly recovered well from the frightening ordeal. The toddler was unattended and not fed for more than 36 hours before neighbors came by after detecting a foul smell coming from the house. There was a court date earlier last week, and a member of the family stepped forward to take the baby. I have no information on the father of the child or the status of the investigation by the police, Russell Dixon of the Child Development Agency (CDA) said. On Sunday, July 21, the bodies of the two women were discovered, reportedly with gunshot wounds in Lariston, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. One of the deceased women has been identified as 28-year-old Alexine Rodney, otherwise called Sasha, while the other female is known only as Alia. The police said they were summoned to the area after residents smelt a foul odor coming from the premises. The two bodies were found when law enforcement entered the house. The scene was processed and the bodies were moved to the morgue, where post-mortem examinations are to be conducted. Police investigations are ongoing into the gory incident. Cops seek help to solve teen's murder. 2 years after the execution-style murder for Kingston schoolboy Rushane Smith, the police are seeking the public's help in bringing his killers to justice. On Thursday, January 26, 2017, the body of the 13-year-old Denham Town High School student was found in the middle of Eve Avenue in the West Hero Circle area about 4:30 in the morning. Rushane's hands were tied behind his back and his shirt was pulled over his head. He had been shot several times in the head. The last time Rushane was seen alive was the Wednesday morning before. He would be 14 years old today, Rushane's former teacher Donette Smith said during a visit to the Denham Town High School on January 30, 2017. A fresh bouquet of red bougainvilleas rested on the desk at the back of grade 8N, where Rushane usually sat in class. It provided a glimmer of brightness on a somber morning of reflection on the life of the youngster who, from all indications, met a harrowing death. During his short time at the North Street-based high school, Rushane developed a special relationship with his former teacher. The troubled teen was affectionately known as Sleepy, and Smith shared a role in how he got his pet name. He was always sleeping. I met with his former teacher in 7th grade, and from he comes in, he hits the desk. And I was a person who said, "Okay, Sleepy," and that's how the name stuck to him in grade 7. I was like one of his mothers. He comes to school, and if there's any difficulty, I am the first one. Whether I am inside the class or not, you'd always be looking for me to find me to tell me something or the other. If you wanted something to eat or a book or a pencil, something, I was always there, she said at the time. Smith therefore took the news of Rushane's death particularly hard. I have close contact with the mother, and when he's out of school, because I pass down the road, I was always asking, "What happened to Rushane? Why is he not in school?" And she would say, "Okay, miss, he's coming tomorrow," she added. Ironically, in a photograph accompanying an article headlined, "Save Our Children," that was published in the Sunday Gleaner of January 8, 2017, where a barefooted Rushane was seen steering a handcart along Duke Street, with 2 younger children aboard and 4 others running alongside. He would be killed before the month was through. The police would like to talk to one of Rushane's friends, who goes by the name Satan, whom it is believed was with him the day he died. Crime Stop is offering $200,000 for the arrest and charge of the person or persons responsible for his murder. If you know anything about this murder, please call 311, free from anywhere in Jamaica. Your information will be kept strictly confidential and you don't have to give your name. Crises involving children have doubled. The last 3 weeks have been filled with blame and frustration for Cassandra Brown and her relatives since her 12-month-old son was killed in a fire that razed their home on Bay Farm Road, St. Andrew. The tragedy is among the latest in what the Child Protection and Family Services Agency cited as an increase in the number of first responders incidents to which its officers have been deployed through this year. First responder incidents include fire, drowning, suicide, or other crises in which younger children have either been killed or severely traumatized. For the 2017-2018 period, the CPFSA registered 35 incidents, while for 2018 to 2019, there have already been more than 70 first responder incidents so far, a 100% increase. These include the drowning of 3 children, the fire deaths of 3 others, and the murder of 4 youths, including a teenage girl who was killed inside a Portmore house with her boyfriend. 1-year-old Neymar Facey was among the latest victims. He was reportedly burned to death in his sleep on July 9 when another child from nearby premises lit a sponge in his house. His mother, Cassandra Brown, had left him with his teenage sister to purchase dinner at a nearby shop. Her daughter, however, was reportedly next door when the fire started and could not rescue her brother in time. 26 people lost their homes in the blaze, and the mother of the youngster who lit the fire has reportedly fled the area after residents started dishing out blame for their loss. Undoubtedly, such traumatic incidents render these children and their families extremely vulnerable and in need of immediate assistance, said a spokesperson from the CPFSA, noting that for each incident, it dispatches a first responder team made up of investigators, children's officers, and counselors. Affected families typically receive initial counseling and social support as deemed appropriate, followed by other kinds of intervention. These are all in an effort to restore normality to their lives and leave them satisfied and confident in the child protection sector. Last week, as Brown and relatives cried openly in a CPFSA counseling session, counselors tried to free them of the blame they placed on her teenage daughter and the mother of the young boy who started the fire. My daughter feel really bad, and plus sometimes me blame her. But that's what they're telling me not to do because she's going to have it on her head. But me no know. Me just ask Father God why. The 38-year-old mother who lost the son she prayed for said. It is not like says idle me go idle. It's shop me go buy food for cook for them. But it's true me baby fall asleep when me beg me daughter for give an eye. It's like me the feel of vibes cause me a beg her please. Robert Williams, Regional Director for the Southeast Region at the CPFSA, said that while many parents and relatives may be going through various emotions, it doesn't help the families to cast blame on each other. In the normal grieving process, there's a stage called blaming. So you lose a child and get angry and want to blame somebody, especially in these circumstances. But that type of blaming is not healthy, and it actually hinders the grieving process. So what we try to do is to counsel parents and help them to look at the situation a different way, said Williams. Water shortage crippling KPH operations. A scarcity of water in the corporate area has resulted in the cancellation of surgeries at the Kingston Public Hospital KPH and has left some medical practitioners at the Taipei Health Facility irritated. President of the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, Dr. Elon Thompson, said that while water is trucked to the institution regularly, it is often not done early enough for doctors to begin surgeries on time. We can't wash off any instruments or anything after we use them, so that has delayed surgical operations, and by extension, it gets patients cancelled because we run out of time, and that adds to the waiting list, he said. You come, you present your list in the morning, then you hear there's no water. You don't get this information prior to starting the list in the morning before you come. You don't get it the night before. You're getting it when the patient is there, you are there, the anesthetist is there, nurses are ready to go, and we are hearing that there's no water. KPH is the final referral point for primary, secondary, and the tertiary public health care in Jamaica, and is therefore heavily trafficked. But Dr. Thompson finds that not enough is being done to find a permanent solution to address the annual water shortage at the hospital, which usually gets worse this time of the year. I know that the entire country is having a water issue, but we have to prepare for when we're going to have these issues, because it doesn't make any sense. You know that you're going to have water lock-offs at regular intervals, and you have a hospital to run, and you're out of water, he lamented. I think we need to stop making excuses for the reasons why we are not getting the water and just sort out the problem, because it is delaying the start time for operations and it is adding to the waiting list. Chief Executive Officer, CEO at KPH, Colleen Wright, admitted that water lock-offs have been affecting their ability to deliver service. We do need water in order to offer health care, and when there are challenges with the water, it is going to impact the service that we are offering, and as such, that will be an issue in truth, she said. Wright noted that the National Water Commission has always been responsive when contacted to truck water to the facility. However, the hospital's storage capacity needs to be increased. The combined storage capacity for both KPH and the Victoria Jubilee Hospital is about 45,000 to 50,000 gallons of water. However, the CEO said the facility needs about 100,000 gallons daily to provide full service. She said they are currently putting a plan in place to increase the storage capacity. We want to get that implemented before the end of the year. It is going to take some work to get it implemented, but we are looking to get it done so that, all being well, when we are experiencing this kind of season next year, we would be able to bear it, she said. Wright was not able to say whether the water storage has increased the waiting time for patients requiring surgery. I know that persons speak to the long waiting list, but that is being investigated. We have been trying to put some things in place so that we can determine what the list is like, shared the CEO. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.